A massive manhunt is underway in Austria as police search for those behind a suspected Islamist terror attack in Vienna. 4 people were killed when at least one gunman opened fire in the city centre. Another 17 people were wounded. The attack happened yesterday evening as people gathered in bars and restaurants hours before the enforcement of new coronavirus restrictions. The Interior Minister, Karl Nehammer, has described one of the gunmen who was shot dead by police as an Islamic State sympathiser. Another possible attacker is still being hunted and a suspect has been arrested. People have been urged to avoid central Vienna as leaders around the world have condemned the attack. This report is from Mark Lebel.
By the way, we must admit that UAE, unlike these other Islamic countries, has been very good at condemning these attacks outright, without any ifs or buts. So, congrats to UAE for getting this stuff right.
Austrian police order people to take cover. News of an incident emerged just before 8 last night, with reports of several gunmen armed with rifles opening fire in 6 locations. One witness recalls what he saw.
We didn't know what was going on, to be honest. The only thing we heard of was the firecrackers, the sound of firecrackers. And then we only saw what happened sort of afterwards. We saw their policemen in the street next to our restaurant. We saw their ambulance, lining up next to our restaurant. We saw there were victims who seemed harmed in a way.
It unfolded in a vibrant district of Vienna, opposite a synagogue which was closed at the time. It's not clear if that was a target.
Yes, when I heard synagogue, even before I knew that this was an Islamic attack, I was like, oof.
It comes a night before a new 8 p.m. coronavirus curfew kicks in for cafes and restaurants there. Austria's chancellor has called it a repulsive terror attack.
Guys, by the way, even though we call this Islamic, not Islamist, we have to admit that this is becoming a little bit more honest than we used to. Like the fact that Islam is even here in the title, is is pretty good.
We are living here in Austria and particularly in Vienna through difficult hours. We are victims of an appalling terrorist attack in our capital, which is still ongoing.
Wait, who is this guy? Chancellor of Austria? Really? This guy's 15.
Victims of an appalling terrorist attack in our capital, which is still ongoing.
You guys make teenagers run your country?
I want to thank the emergency services. They're risking their lives to secure our safety.
Boris Johnson has tweeted that he is deeply shocked by the terrible attacks, telling the people of Austria the UK stands united with them against terror. Police are still searching.
Hey, Boris Johnson didn't delay, unlike last time with France. Good thing he didn't delay this time.
Searching for at least one suspect still at large. They're urging people to stay at home or avoid public transport if they're out on the streets. Austria's Interior Minister described this as the hardest day for the country for several years. As the manhunt continues for at least one heavily armed and dangerous attacker,
Hey, it's just joking. I wasn't shaming him. Jesus Christ. The unknown is saying stupid, shaming people for their appearance. It's a joke. Come on, don't take it so seriously. Fucking hell. I wasn't criticizing him for that.
Special forces are
Did I shame him for that? I didn't shame him. Where was the shaming? Where was the shame? When did I shame him? God damn it, chill. They tell me to chill, and this is the comments I get.
also looking beyond the capital. Mark Lobel, BBC News.
Idris, good point. Idris is saying because France blasphemed, perhaps condemning Austria maybe was less risky. Condemning Austria, condemning the attack on Austria was less risky. Maybe.
And let's speak now to Eric Fry, who is senior editor at Der Standard newspaper, and he is in Vienna. Eric, thanks very much for your time this morning. Are we any clearer this morning about the number of suspects that police are looking for?
No, we're not. What we know is that the reports that came out last night that there may be 6 attackers underway was probably wrong. And the likelihood is that it was a single attacker who was doing the shooting yesterday.
See, like, this is it. They see the comments. See, this is fun. This is joke. We all know Armin is jealous because he only looks 12 years old. Actually, I think like telling people they look young, I thought that was a compliment. I didn't know that was like a, yes, sir. Yeah, I got it. Don't worry.
Whether there is a accomplice who is now actually armed and at large is unclear. But the police statements and the statements of the Interior Minister rather sound that they think it's just one person, but they like to find out more.
Okay, here's a good question. Have the Jordanians or Lebanese made any statements yet? Yeah, I don't know. Anybody knows?
About his background and the people and his network. So the people who have been also detained this morning and questioned seem to be.
Holy crap! Is this Frivo guy? Is this defending them? Frivo, like, are you like a? I don't know. Maybe this guy's a troll. Holy crap! Imagine if he's not a troll. What? Okay. Sometimes I become selfish, but you have a pure golden heart. Wow. That's a major compliment that I did not expect today, but thank you.
Not involved in the shooting like last night directly, but seem to have contact with him and his Islamist background.
So the authorities.
Oh, what is this here? Aryan is saying, I hate it when people say terror has no religion. Ah, yes, the attacks were carried out by Atheist Republic. Oof, be careful, don't use that word. Yeah, I mean, people say like, oh, the same people that say, oh, terror have no religion, make fun of people who say, guns don't kill people, people kill people, right? They're like, oh yeah, people kill people, but guns make it easier to kill people. So we're like, these are a little leftists say that, like, okay, what, are you serious? Yes, guns don't kill people, okay? People kill people, but people without guns kill less people. Okay, that's what leftists say. We're like, okay, exactly. Yeah, it's not. People kill also without religion, but people kill more with religion. It's like a weapon. So if they get that, why can't they get this?
Clearly have some level of information about the gunman who was shot dead, given what they've said this morning. Have they been able to search any properties or carry out any other searches which have led them to make this statement?
Yes, they will. Immediately, somehow they identified the person. They found his apartment, which is in a working class district in Vienna. They broke it open, and there apparently they found signs for his sympathy for the Islamic State, for radical Islamism. And what they know now is he's 20 years old. He has a criminal record, so he has been known to the police.
Yeah, and he was arrested, and then he was let go. Wait, was he known to have connections to terror groups?
But this is about all that we know. We don't know where he got his guns and his weapons from.
Qasim is saying there are terror verses in the Quran. There is no extremistic Islam, as there is no political Islam. Islam is extremist person. Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's the basic. Sometimes I feel like, are we gonna really say that? I mean, like, I think everybody here is familiar with how pro-violence Islam is to the core. Like, sometimes, like, people say, like, oh, Islam is violent. And, like, guys, like, are you, like, yes, this is like Atheist Republic 15 years ago, right? I mean, I think we all have this kind of understanding here that we don't need to repeat those.
And we don't know whether he has been actually involved in any kind of political activity before.
Tell us more, Eric, about the area where this attack began last night.
Well, it was apparently the first shooting happened right in front of the main synagogue in Vienna. So it seems like that this was actually the target. But this area is also one of the main party and club and cafe districts and going out.
Okay, are you saying, I'm not being racist here, but should all Chechens be vetted before entering a room? No, I mean, again, it shouldn't be based on country or ethnicity or even religion. It should be based on skill sets, values, and education.
Districts in Vienna.
And strict. And if you cannot prove that these are your skill set, values, and education, then I'm sorry, we need to leave the room for someone else.
And last night it was full.
Again, that's not anti-humanist, because if you don't get in, somebody else does. Okay, people are like, oh, why are you having such a strict standards? We can't be like, these people need it. Yeah, but like if you have a limited number, let's say like you're letting 10,000 people in, and somebody who has actually good values, they cannot prove that they support these values. If they don't get in, it's unfortunate for them, but it's like you already had a set number, so you didn't get in, but somebody else did. So that set number did not change. So it's not less humanist to be very strict with people being able to prove the values that they stand for.
Because this is the last evening before the curfew kicks in, and
And yes, no criteria is going to be like 100% bulletproof. Some people will slip in, but it's just going to reduce it by a lot.
the weather was nice, the weather was warm, so there were hundreds, thousands of people on the streets and in cafes and bars. And the shooting happened right in this vicinity. So he went from one place to the next, or he was running or escaping, shooting at various places. And all this was a place with a lot of people on the street and a lot of activity. He didn't get very far. Basically 15 minutes, 20 minutes after the first emergency call, police was there, and they stopped him, and they shot him dead. So the police intervention came very fast and saved probably a lot of lives.
Okay, Eric, thank you.
Let me see what you guys are saying. Cretin is saying, always makes my name sound so French that I feel a connection to France. Okay. All right, guys. So here's something that we want to evaluate, okay? So this is like, there's not much more details on this. Obviously, this was horrific, and obviously it was Islamic. I don't know, the reaction to this is much less compared to France. I guess people are getting used to this news. There hasn't been that many updates yet. I was waiting to see if there's any Islamic channels that are going to respond to this, but they didn't until this happened. I mean, it happened right away, actually, but this was the day after, okay? Did you guys see this? There were two Muslim men who saved some people in Vienna from terror attacks, okay?